A psychologist explains why negativity dominates your daily thought and what to do about it. We all have been there, mired in the throes of pessimism when life just doesn't seem to be going our way. For the lucky ones, the entirely natural, though disconcerting feeling ebbs and flows, ultimately dissolving into a more balanced, healthier state of mind for hapless others, though the extreme negative thought and ideation, ideation can overwhelm, even become who they are. At worst, it can be deadly. As one peer reviewed study found that people who are strongly pessimistic about the future are at greater risk of dying earlier than those who are not pessimists. It turned out that we as humans might be built for negativity, making us our own worst enemy. This other research casts doubt on so-called optimism bias, debunking the notion that some people inherently see life through rose-tinted glasses. Unfortunately, it is an unfortunate opportunity lost, as another study found optimism to be associated with exceptional longevity. Though a powerful thing, and both the positive and negative lead to our moods, our psychological symptoms, and our behaviors, say clinical psychologist Monica Vermini, author of A Deeper Witness, Conquering Stress, Mood, Anxiety, and Trauma. Even though at times we may feel as though we are not, we are the ones in control of our thoughts. We can choose not only what we think about but how we think about it. Vermini says that we need to learn to actually train our cognitive distortions and negative thoughts and question how real or accurate they are. We need to question and examine the veracity of our distorted ways of seeing reality and replace them with more accurate, adaptive, realistic, and uplifting thoughts that uh, motivate us to strive to act and be highest best version of ourselves. She say we can choose to reinforce health rather than harmful choice, habit, and behavior. But it seems we don't traverse that road unopposed, according to digital.com marketing and small business expert Dennis Consorti. It's inevitable that we are thinking negatively because as a society we're surrounded by it. The media sensationalized stories to try leaks and views. He said with lament, negative people often project their negativity on the rest of us too, both in person and over social media. When this happens, it's better to focus on those things that are within your control to get the positive outcomes you want. Consulting recommends reframing strategy whenever a negative thought presents. For example, when you at work and finish two out of the five important tasks, you might have a negative thought like, I'm so far behind and still have too much left to do. Instead, reframe it as something like, I'm already completed two out of five important tasks today, I can get through the rest. Choosing to reframe and rewrite negative maladaptive thought a positive one is an approach that Vermini also advocates to gain control. Sometimes the click of perception switch is on that it needed to redirect one disposition in a more constructive direction. Negative thought and chronic pessimism can also stem from many triggers far beyond stature. We are lying in the moment. including self-destructive patterns and even unresolved childhood experiences and trauma that evolve to inform perceptions and impede personal growth. According to transformational guide James Hess, is it downright critical to identify harmful circumstances that were imprinted before the rational mind were even formed in early adolescence and to extrapolate and understand how those situations likely form patterns that could be limiting one's present day life. Vermini concurred that negativity can be the result of deep-seated childhood experiences that stick with us into adulthood. Thoughts are shaped from our childhood and experiences, blueprints, cliché roles modeled by loved ones, society and community and media, and are derived from the life experiences that we judge and label as positive and negative, our struggles, challenges, achievements, victories, gains, and losses. On that line reasons with there are many components involved in moving your life forward in meaningful ways. Say hard, like setting goals and learning new skills. For example, is much like driving a car. There are about 30,000 or more moving parts involved in keeping your car on the road. Negative thought patterns are like the check engine light on your car that keep blinking, but you only have a vague idea of what causing it. Or maybe you don't notice the light at all until the car sputters or stops altogether. I say that negative thoughts dominate thinking simply because of who you are and how you operate as an individual. Also, that negative thinking can be crowded with how adept you are or are not at achieving goals and getting what you want out of life. Whatever the impetus, negative thoughts are unfortunately controllable. Halisane negative manifestation compulsion (NMC) is controllable. She said that NMC often occurs as a sequence of negative thoughts in close succession, compounding upon each other and ultimately leading you away from rather than toward your goals. These thoughts consume mind share and continue until you are spiraling downward, simply unable to stop. We spend a lot of time in our heads reliving negative experiences of our past and imagining and forecasting worst case scenarios and outcomes. Firmly say, we often do this as a means of preventing bad things from happening to us, but honestly reliving and replaying negative past events and forecasting of looming dire outcomes are just thoughts in our head. The past is in the past and the future is just our imagination. We can choose what we think about, how we act and react in the present, and forecast positive rather than negative outcomes. The choice is ours to make. There are few soft skills that can apparently help or hinder us along the way. According to Hart's negative manifestation often finds foundation in lack of focus, right direction, or planning. Smaller negative manifestation acts as a warning for the larger ones to come unless you take positive action to stop the process. Rather than reverting to patterns and undermine optimism, you have the ability to observe a negative thought objectively, without judgment, and then choose to release and strategically strategically replace it with thoughts of gratitude, visualization of processes or joyful moments, reciting affirmations that resonate, and other such mindfulness activities that can stop negative manifestation episode appeared in its track. Many Shahab gurus offer advice that is one-sided. Hannah said, they assert that positive affirmations are key to solve your problems, but I'm here to tell you they're nothing that further from the truth. Optimism needs an authentic foundation in order to be upheld, realized, and certain sustained. I have found that the most helpful and beneficial practice is one that is prescriptive, there whereby you directly identify and address the root causes or triggers of your angst. A fundamentally change the relationship with you how your inner thoughts and self perceptions. Venomy offer a few other relative easy way to have gain control of negative thoughts. First and foremost, she suggests surrounding yourself with people who enhance, support, and inspire you, lifting you up and help you see the good among the challenges in your life. This includes minimizing resources of stress by setting healthy boundaries around exposure to risky, competitive, and negative people, as well as the endless news circles. She also recommends actively and concertedly letting go of negative self-perception, limiting belief thought of being not good enough and conditions you play on yourself in order to be happy. To continue with the car metaphor, perhaps addressing negative thinkings akin to an automobile inspection. Said that you need to identify on the problematic mechanism keeping you trapped by your negative thoughts. Whatever is malfunctioning needs to be proactively addressed and wholly resolved to ensure safe passage ahead. Safe passage ahead. Overall, pinpointing destructive pattern from your past just may be the ignition key that will fire up your optimism engine, help you journey toward the life you desire and deserve. Founder of the LucidList.com is an international regarded brand analyst and strategist. She is a member of the Forbes Business Council, Newsweek Expert Forum, and Rolling Stone Culture Council.